Hey, what's going on? Got a couple of people in here. How many knives do you have in total? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Probably like 16. Upwards of, as close to maybe 20. Somewhere around there. Got a lot of people in here. How's it going, guys? Plan for today is we're just going to talk about knives. What's the favorite? Can I see it? Favorite, actually this one right here. This is the Spyderco Bodacious. It's got this really nice sort of canvas micarta scales here. Really nice. Right now, this one's my favorite. This one right here. Next to that would probably be, let's see, that snakeskin. It's not. It's actually layered canvas, but it looks like snakeskin, which I really like. Besides that, my other favorite would have to be probably this one. It's my Star Wars knife. Carbon fiber on the back. This one's definitely up there on the favorites list. But right now, this one's the favorite. Now, if we're talking newest, it's going to be this one. This one's on the cheaper side. I think this one's like 40 something. Yeah, second favorite is going to be this one. This is the SRM. This doesn't have a name, but it has a model number. It's just a bunch of letters and numbers right there. Barbed Hooks, how's it going, brother? So sick, wish I had one. Yeah, just got this one in this week, so really like it. Really smooth. Yeah, it's a good knife. Rob, how's it going, man? Or no, Barb. How's it going, Barb? Very kind. Appreciate it. Thank you. Not too bad. Same old, just got off of work. Nice. I love getting off of work. I do really also like this one. Same little, almost like a painter's tarp. Picked up a 940 BK though. That's a nice one. I don't have too many Benchmades in the collection, but the 940, if I were to pick up one, nice knives. Appreciate it, man. Do you live in Kings Lynn? No, I don't live in Kings Lynn. Desert Skin. Yeah, I really like this canvas. Micarta almost feels like a painter's tarp, if you know what I'm talking about. But really nice knife here. Burnt copper and Magna Cut. Yeah, that one's solid. That would either, if I were to pick up a 940, it would either be the burnt copper aluminum or the denim micarta in M390. That one's really nice. I just don't like the price. I think that's overly priced. What else do you stream? This is pretty much it. I'm kind of new to the whole live streaming stuff, but yeah, my live streams are kind of just big conversations with everybody who's in here. So, yeah, this is it. This is all a live stream. This is also an interesting one though. Paid $293 for mine, got it 10% off. Yeah, I mean the $293 for Benchmade is actually not that bad. It's still expensive from my perspective, but it's a nice knife, no doubt. Do you sell them? Not often. The only time I sell knives is when I have my eyes on a different knife and need to clear space in the collection. So um, selling knives isn't really a priority for me until I have enough of them to where I sell a couple off and then buy a new one. Um, this is also a fun one. This is the Tenable Knives Co. Fenrir. Really nice blade shape on here. Really smooth. Really like this one. Nice little G10 handles, Nitro V steel. Really, really like it. Benchmade is for Buff Boys. They're way better knives for the same money, even less. I do agree that there are a lot better knives for less money. Um, my favorite being Spyderco. I think Spyderco makes better knives. Um, Benchmade doesn't make a terrible knife. They just are completely insane with their pricing. Like the bug out here, I think it's a fantastic knife. I have aftermarket aluminum scales. I actually really do enjoy this knife. Do I think it is worth the $180? Absolutely not. I think it's fucking insane that Benchmade charges that much for the bug out. Um, but it's a good knife nonetheless. I think it's a great profile. The blade shape is really nice. The stock is really thin. It's a solid knife. I just don't agree with the pricing. Uh, just trying to get the last of the American made Magna Cut before it's yeah, definitely. And funny enough, Crucible is going bankrupt, but they just came out with prototyping a new steel, which is interesting. Magnum Max. I know nothing about it, but ProTech is using it now, which is interesting. Do I have a machete? I do not have a machete. The, I guess, biggest sort of knife in that category would be this fixed blade. This is about as close as I have to a machete. French company acquired them from what I read. Yeah, I knew they were going to get picked up quick. Sucks that their manufacturing is getting shipped over to France. But that's the business, I guess. Really kind of sucks for, kind of puts a damper on fully USA made knives. But that's the game. I'm trying to get one that has a gold handle. If you're looking for gold handles, you could go with aluminum that's been coated in gold, or you can go with something that has brass on it. This one right here. Doesn't have to be fixed blade. One that has gold hand, 64 quid. I'm not too familiar with other currencies besides American currency. So I don't know exactly what 64 quid is, but sounds like a decent price. But yeah, it kind of puts a damper on the whole USA made stuff, knowing that it's going to be shipped out to France. But at the end of the day, knife steel is knife steel, and I'm sure that whoever picks them up is going to be doing it justice. I know, at least for Spyderco, I don't know how that's going to look for their heat treating and everything like that, but I'm sure that got it. I'm sure Spyderco is going to do their own vetting, and other companies are going to end up doing just as good work with the steel. Just sucks that it's not going to be USA made anymore, because that was one of the only companies that is USA made. How much was it? If you're talking about this guy right here, this was 200 USD. So 200 American dollars. But yeah, I like this one. This one is Magna Cut steel. Now we're talking about Crucible. Really nice knife. The blade isn't super long, so you get a lot of utility out of it, and especially the sort of razor type shape on here. I'm gonna head out. Gotta hit the store. Have a good one. No problem, man. Barb, thanks for stopping in, man. Good to catch you here again. Um, yeah, this is a really nice one. I really like this knife. The brass gives it a solid weight. Being full metal and brass being heavy, I really like this knife. I like it a lot. But yeah, that one was 200 American dollars. So what's up, guys? How's everybody's day going? What are y'all up to? I am up to talking about knives. That's how my day's going. Let's see, what other interesting stuff do I have? I do have another knife coming in today, should be here in the next couple of hours, and then I will be buying a new one probably in the next 2 weeks. $64, 64 pounds. Okay, not a bad price. $64 can definitely get you a decent knife. That's sort of the bottom end of where I would buy knives from. Is that sort of high 50, low $60 price range. The knife I have coming in is from the same company here, from Kizer, and I will have a video on it probably tonight, early tomorrow. But Kizer makes some really good knives. If you haven't checked out any Kizer knives, I would definitely start with them. They make really good knives in that sort of budget category. I think this one was $50, $56. Really nice. Just come back from work. Nice. What do you do for work? Really like this one. Another interesting one is this one right here from Olight. Technically, their knife brand, which is O Knife. This is a nice, solid aluminum frame lock. I think it's aluminum. It's like their Olight proprietary aluminum that they use. It's really nice. Got a little bit of gold handle. Really nice pocket clip design. This is Nitro V steel, so not a bad steel. And it's smooth. Really smooth. But it's really nice. Really comfortable. Nice. Let's get some paper. Some paper here. Really nice edge right out of the box. Really, really nice. Yeah, I got this one in last week, maybe. Something along that line. Let's get back from work. Been tough. I'm a scaffolder. That's an impressive job. Scaffolding is no joke. For 3 years, I did HVAC and definitely appreciated a good scaffolder. Made my job a lot easy when somebody was able to do their job right. Yeah, this is also one of my favorites. I love Spyderco knives. I have a lot of Spyderco knives. They are one of my favorite knife manufacturers for a couple of reasons. I have a video coming out about it probably in the next couple of days, fully breaking down why I prefer Spyderco over some other American-made companies. One of them being is they have really high quality control, meaning that there's a less likelihood of getting a bad Spyderco knife out of the box. They just do a really good job with their quality control. Another thing is they do a lot of variety within the same model. So this knife is the Spyderco Manix 2, and this knife alone has probably about 10 variations, whether that be different handle materials, different blade steel, combination of both different blade steel handle material, and a variety of different blade finishes, whether it be plain satin blade or a black coating like this one. Um, there's just so many options when it comes to Spyderco knives. And then on top of that, they can get tough a lot. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. There's a lot that goes into scaffolding work um, that I think a lot of people don't realize when they think of scaffolding. They think it's like setting up a ladder or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into scaffolding aside from putting metal together. Um, but yeah, Spyderco just has so many variations of their knives, and it's one reason that I really like Spyderco knives. Um, they they make some of the best production USA made knives in their price categories. You have knives like Chris Reeve that are USA made. McNeese, all of those make all of those companies make really good knives. Have you ever? I'm assuming you meant have I ever hurt myself? I I'm assuming that you're asking if I've ever like had an accident with a knife, and I've had a couple, um, mostly from not this knife, but a knife similar to it. I just got a Yojimbo. I love it. Funny enough that you say that. That is, I will be buying a Yojimbo here in the next probably 2 weeks. Like middle of February. Yes. Okay, Katie. Yeah, I have a couple scars from knives. My first one here, I was probably 12 or 13, being done with a knife and ended up slicing right through my finger here. Um, Another time, I was taking a knife out of the sheath, and when I went to go put it back in, I missed and ended up sticking myself in the finger right here. Hey, Rob, man, how's it going, man? Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a live stream today, but I had some time, so figured I'd pop up on here. Um, but yeah, I comes with using knives that it happens sometimes. No matter how careful you are, it happens. Um, Monster hurt a lot. Yeah. Um, but yeah, back to the Ojimbo. I'm gonna have one in the mail here in the next probably 2 weeks. I'm gonna be picking one up. It's the Blade HQ exclusive with the natural G10 M4 steel. Really excited about it. I have a buddy who's giving me a pretty good deal on it, so really excited to check it out because that's one of the only Spydercos that I haven't handled, and I'm excited for it. So I've got some big plans for it. Nice buy, good steal, definitely. Um, so yeah, I have some money sitting in PayPal jail right now. Not really sure how that works, but uh, yeah. So I'll be having one of those here in the next couple of weeks. Do I live in Thetford? No, I don't. I live in the U.S. Um, but yeah, let's see. What other stuff do I have? I think that's about it. Um, Bought an aftermarket blue-ended. I screw in hardware. It's stunning. I I have. I'm going to be replacing the scales and the pocket clip for sure. When it comes in, I'm going to be doing some more. Not the Python micarta here. I'm going to be setting some other micarta scales on from Rips Garage Tech. They do a really good job. I'm thinking about the Micro Jimbo. Um, the Micro Jimbo for me, same with the Little Native, and anything in that like less than 2.5 inch blade. Not my favorite. Um, the Para 3 is just about the smallest I'll go when it comes to EDC. Um, even something like the Drop Bear 2, it is a little smaller than the Para 3, but it handles really well. I'm sitting right at the end of the edge here, but if I choke up in this little spot, uh, gives it a really nice hold. So this is about the smallest that I'll go when it comes to EDC. So with the like the Micro Jimbo, the Little Native, anything along that lines, definitely not my favorite, just because I don't feel like I could use it all that well. It's not a super versatile knife, in my opinion. Because if I'm carrying a knife, I need it to cut packages. What is the sharpest knife that you've got? Um, I need a knife that can cut packages, cut food, basically cut a variety of things. And with smaller knives, they don't really handle that all that well. Um, Katie, back to your question. This is the sharpest knife I have right now because this has a mirrored polish on it, and it is wicked sharp. So this is the sharpest one I got right now. How long it's going to stay that way, I have no idea. But for the time being, that's the sharpest one. Yeah, I love a good Wharncliffe blade. Who was it that said that? Dropped you here. KJ, I love a good Wharncliffe blade. This is my Spyderco Andela in Wharncliffe K390. Super solid. Use it as a box cutter for slicing. My only gripe with Wharncliffe blades, while I like using them, it's not the best for cutting food, just because that tip takes most of the wear. But for everything else outside of that, I really like this. Where I live, it's technically illegal to have anything larger than 2 inches. Yeah, in that case, that would be the only reason I would carry a smaller knife. Luckily, there's not too many places that restrict at least manual folding knife length. But if I'm traveling, this one's probably going to be this one is more than likely my go-to because it's legal basically everywhere. It's non-locking and it's a decent size. And the QSP Hedgehog gets a lot of use when I'm out and about and traveling. It's just such a good little knife. I think this is like $40 or $45, something like that. And for the money, this is honestly one of the best slip joint knives that I've come across. I've had a lot. I have a tucked back here. Got a little case knife. I don't like this very much. I did acid wash the blade, but it's just it's a little small, and the spring tension on the lock back is a little soft. So I'm not a big fan of this knife, even though it looks really nice. Here's as wide as your palm for legal carry. Yeah. Chicago, yeah. Like Chicago and New York are right about the only places that, one, I have no intention of traveling to. There's just not a big appeal for me. And then on top of that, the laws suck. Yeah. So Chicago, New York, they're nuts when it comes to their laws. And I have no interest in going to any of those places. I hear they're nice, but as a knife guy, as an EDC guy, I'm good. Unless the military has other plans for me and they send me there anyway, I'm not going there on my own. There's Jews with drum mags and switches, but I haven't. Exactly. Most of the time, knife laws, when they relate to weapons laws, they make no sense. Because, like you said, you could have a dude that has 100 round magazines, but God forbid you have a 3-inch knife versus a 2-inch knife. Like that inch is going to make a difference. Yeah, makes Chicago and NYC real safe. Exactly. Like they think it's actually going to do anything. I mean, really, the way I see it is knife laws and gun laws only hurt the people who actually follow them. With my $200 Spyderco. Yeah. Knife laws, gun laws, they only really hurt the people that actually follow the law. I think gun laws are dumb inherently, and I think knife laws are even more dumb because how many of us are actually going to go around and use this as a weapon? Knives are tools, firsthand. Knives should only be used as tools. And let's be honest, what's the smallest knife that I own? Here's a good example. This is the smallest knife I own. How the fuck am I going to use this? This is not doing shit. But in some places, this is about as big a knife as you can carry, which is stupid. Because let's hypothetically say I wanted to use this as a weapon. This isn't going to hurt anybody, especially in places like Chicago, New York. If it's in the winter, this might get through a jacket. But even besides that, if I actually wanted to use this, like, yeah, it's going to hurt, but this ain't going to do shit to you. It would probably hurt me more as the aggressor than the victim. Exactly. You're going to hurt yourself more from how small this is, trying to hurt somebody. You're going to end up hurting yourself more. Heard it. So I think knife laws are dumb. And if you're trying to protect yourself from an aggressor, how's this going to stop them? It's going to give them a paper cut. And they're going to do the thing that they went out of their way to do. And that's going to be that. So I think, like I said, exactly, normal people, the everyday person, isn't stabbing people. That's why I think knife laws, weapon laws, they only hurt the people that obey them. Everyday people, those are the only people you're hurting when you write and push out various forms of weapons laws. Because criminals, doesn't matter what laws you push out, they're criminals. That's what they do. They're going to break the law. No matter what the law is, they're going to do whatever they want to. That's just my 2 cents. That is about as political as I will go. Because I think it's dumb. I think, honestly, if we had less weapons laws, there would be less crime. Because you look at places where the weapons laws are more loose, the crime rate is significantly less. Crime rate only goes up the more that the laws get more restrictive, because criminals can get away with a lot more because there's less fear. And that's why most weapons related incidents happen in weapons restricted areas, because there's no fear. There's no fear of repercussion. There's no fear of anybody else having a weapon because, let's be honest, in a weapons restricted zone, the only weapons there are either law enforcement for government buildings or criminals, people who don't want to follow the laws. And so weapons laws really only hurt everybody else. When I lived in NC in a small town, there was no crime ever, no B&E, no assaultings. Exactly, because there is an inherent fear when you live in more loosely regulated areas. You know, especially when I lived in Arizona, there was no concealed weapons permit requirement. It came with its own restrictions on that, but you could carry a firearm without a license. Pistols were above 21, and long guns were 18, and very minimal crime. But you have places like California, Chicago, New York, where crime is rampant. What do you think it's due to? It's due to extremely strict gun laws that not incentivize, but it takes away that fear from people acting out. Takes away that fear of people acting out. If there is no fear of consequence, then you have disorder, you have misconduct, you have people who can feel like they can get away with a lot more because they're not afraid of anything happening. But that's my 2 cents. That is my 2 cents. But yeah, I think once that Yojimbo comes in a couple weeks, when my money gets out of PayPal jail, because I guess with PayPal, if you don't use it for an extended period of time and then you sell something, you get money. They put it in a holding period for like 3 weeks. I sold a couple knives 2 weeks ago, and PayPal will release the funds to me in 7 days, in a week from now. Greetings to you. I'm living in the city of Timmins, Ontario, Canada. My late grandfather talked about how it also affects for crime. Yeah, I know. Ironically, exactly, Bruce. That's exactly my point. Weapons restrictions only hurts the law-abiding citizens, and it makes it really easy for criminals to feel like they can get away with whatever they want to do. But yeah, my plan is I've been talking about this for a long time. If you've seen any of my previous videos, I've been talking about doing a comparison between all the Spydercos that I have, being that all of them are in some form of super steel. Yeah, the Yojimbo will probably be used for cutting food, as all of these knives have seen some sort of food slicing capability. But my plan is to pit all of the Spydercos that I have against each other in like a cut test. One, I need to get some materials to cut. But when that comes in, I will have 5 Spydercos in higher end steels. And I want to do a video to see which one comes out on top. I might make a series out of it and kind of just go 2 at a time, and sort of like a tournament style series. If you want to see that, let me know. Because I think having all 5 together would be an insanely long and tedious video to film. But I think that's what I'm going to do, is do like a tournament sort of fight of the fittest to see which one comes out on top for a cut test. So that will be a very tedious video to put together. But I think if I do it in a series style, so a handful of videos, They're going to be at the same edge angle. Are you doing control sharpening? Yeah, so all of them are factory edge. I will sharpen them all to the same degree, and we'll go from there. So there will be a controlled sharpening on all of them. All of them are already 20 degrees on the edge angle, but the Yojimbo, I mean, all of them are factory edge. Science, yeah. Big science project. So all of them are still factory edge. Some of them need to be cleaned up, but there will be a controlled edge sharpness level, and then we'll go from there and see whichever one makes it the furthest. So I'm excited for it. It's going to take some work to put together and figure out, but I think the end product will be very nice. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it works out the way that I hope it works out. And I hope you guys enjoy it. But that is about all the time I've got for today. I'll probably be back next week with another live stream if I've got the time. But yeah, hope you guys stay safe. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for chatting and talking knives. And I will catch you guys on the next one. If you want to see more of this, feel free to check out the 200 plus videos I have on the channel. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. And if you want to check out the live stream next week, it's probably going to be around the same time, Friday or Saturday. So with all that, catch you guys on the next one. Later, guys.